What's up everyone and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at a very special F-150. This is the Ford F-150 VelociRaptor 600. Huge shout out to 704 Exotics for providing this truck for me today. Definitely take a look at their website. That link is down in the description. So this VelociRaptor is finished off in black. It's going for right over $114,000. And underneath the hood, this is still powered by the 3.5 liter twin turbo V6 that the normal F-150 Raptor uses. However, the power output has been increased to 558 horsepower, 672 pound-feet of torque. That power is primarily sent to the rear wheels. However, this has the four-wheel drive system. It weighs in right around 5,700 pounds. 0 to 60 is 3.5 seconds. Top speed has been increased to 120 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 36 gallons. You'll expect to see around 14 miles per gallon in the city, 16 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 145 inches. Its overall length is 232.6. It has a width of 86.8, a height of 79.8, and its ground clearance measures in at 12 inches. As we move on now to the exterior styling for the VelociRaptor, the main difference that you'll notice between this and a standard Raptor is the bumper. It spells out VelociRaptor. We have the steel bumper, of course. There's an LED bar just underneath that, parking sensors as well, and then there's rigid fog lights in both corners. The bull bar is just above that too, and then everything up top is the same. So the Ford logo with the forward-facing camera, plenty of cutouts to that engine. Now, talking about the engine, this also has a high-flow air induction system and an air-to-air intercooler. Now, this also has a set of LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals as well. There's the 3 amber lights in the upper section of the grille. There's skid plates underneath, along with the tow hooks too. And then some nice lines that come down the hood with the bulge right in the middle. Interesting that the Raptor badge doesn't have a VelociRaptor, but it still gives it a really cool design for this truck. Now, as we work our way to the side, this has a set of 35-inch tires, 20-inch wheels, and this even has the optional 6-piston Brembo brakes up front. So you'll notice those red calipers there with the black wheel, and it does have a leveling kit up front. Still retains the Fox suspension with all of the remote reservoirs, but it gives it just a little bit of a lift up front to better clear those 35-inch tires. Now, the VelociRaptor 600 badge is in the lower section of the door. This also has body-colored side mirrors with the camera and turn signal. There's a sunroof up top. There's also a trim piece in that front quarter panel there. Now, the Raptor only comes with the quad cab and the short bed. It also has power folding side steps to make it easier to enter and exit. You'll also notice the Fox shocks for the rear suspension there. And then we have plastic for the fender arches, both front and rear, and then some more trim accents in the lower section. Now in back, just like up front, this has a VelociRaptor steel rear bumper. Ford is right in the middle, VelociRaptor is just underneath that, and then the standard badges are still retained. There's the dual exhaust on both sides, and this can still even tow right around 8,200 pounds. So it's a performance-oriented truck that you can also use for work purposes and just towing whatever you may have. Now let's take a listen to this exhaust. We'll lock it, tap this button, and it sounds really good. You will hear that, of course, once we get out on the road. We can unlock it from there. You can also use the button on the key fob or the one up underneath to open up the tailgate there. And this has an aftermarket cover on it. That just depends on your personal needs. Now, there's no spray and bed liner for this model, which is interesting to see. But there are some dome lights. There's even an outlet on that one side, and then plenty of tie-down hooks. For the tailgate, it's just like you would expect from Ford. There's a ruler on the back side, and then some areas you could place pens, tape measures, any items that you have with you for the day. And it does have the bed step, so you can easily pull that out, lock this handle up into place. And if you are constantly getting in and out of the truck, that is definitely very beneficial. And you do need 2 hands in order to close all of that up, but it's very easy, and that tailgate is also very lightweight. Now, as we work our way to the back, we have those power folding side steps, like I mentioned earlier. Plenty of space in the door, along with some in the middle section. This has the Bang and Olufson sound system. Very nice material in the upper section there. Another cubby in the top there. And then for these rear seats, exactly what you would see in a normal Raptor. I do wish there were a few changes for the seats, but you can also still lift them up. There's this tray. You can fold this flat, so that way if you have some larger items, you can place them in, or you can keep this as a divider. There's also a little bit more space in the back, and you can easily close that. Now, there is a grab handle, so at 5'10", makes it much easier to jump into the back. Plenty of space. There's no obstructions in the middle, so it gives you that nice flat surface. There's your cup holders, a little bit of storage in the middle. These are even heated seats, and then there's a lot of auxiliaries underneath that, along with storage pockets too. And at 5'10", I have about an inch or so above my head, but it's a very wide, spacious truck. Being a full-size truck, I don't have any issues with two other people if they were back here next to me. Now in the middle, there's the armrest with 2 cup holders. There's also the power sliding rear glass and the full moonroof with the cover currently closed, but extremely spacious if you need to ride around in the back. Now up front, the door panel is just like the rear. However, there's the memory seating adjustments, lock and unlock. Side mirrors are power folding, all the window adjustments, and then a lot more storage space. Ford Performance badge is down below, and then Raptor is also right in the middle, and then there's a speaker up in the headrest there. Very nice power folding front seats. And let's fire this back up and take a listen to how this sounds. And looking at the digital gauge cluster, on the left side there's the tach, right side is miles per hour. In the upper section, there's a bunch of fixed information like your fuel, oil, engine temperature, and then right in the middle, you can go through a lot more info using these controls on the right side of the steering wheel. Now there's also tuning, there's the exhaust control, so you can go through the various sounds for that exhaust. You can also go through your suspension as well as your steering, so just depending on how you want to drive. But if you use the rest of the controls now, you can actually go through a lot more. You have My View. This is a customizable page, so you can control what you want to see on that page, but you can also go into everything in full screen. You even have Raptor information that you can go into just to look at all of this, and you have quite a lot. Off-road, you have your power distribution. There's a lot of info that you can scroll through. You have your towing and then settings. And then over on the left side of the steering wheel, there's all the cruise control settings. There's your distance pacing along with your lane keeping assist, volume, voice commands. And then if you push on R, this is how you can go into your settings to set up everything the way that you would like to. So it's a shortcut to have everything ready to go with how you want to drive this. This also has some massive steering wheel mounted paddle shifters, and then the racing stripe up top with leather for the rest of the steering wheel and the Raptor logo down below. Now on this left side, there are spotlights on the side mirrors. There's the tailgate release, all the headlight adjustments, fog lights, you have the e-brake, and even a pedal adjustment too. And then there's a little bit of space above the infotainment system with another speaker. And then there's also controls just above this screen. So we do have a shortcut to the camera system, so you can pull that up and view everything in full screen with the 360 view. You have a lot of different angles just depending on what you need to see. This truck also has the parallel parking feature, which is great for its size. There's the hazards, traction control, downhill assist control, and then for this screen, all of the settings are in the lower section here. So those are all fixed. You can quickly get into everything. You have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You can go through some general settings as well. And then there's features like your zone lighting, your towing, even a trail turn assist. So if you happen to take this off the pavement, that is going to reduce your turning radius, especially for this size. That is very nice to see. And then as you've been able to tell, this does have a split screen to it. So you can still view information on this right side while having info over on the left. So it's nice that you can scroll through that and just have that split style. Now on this left side, this has the Pro trailer system. So if you've never backed up before, this is a great assistance. On the right side, there's a button for the upper glove box, so you can get into that as needed. And then underneath that, power and volume for the radio as well as tuning. You have a few settings for that center screen. There's also some more adjustments for your audio. All of your climate adjustments are underneath that with your heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, and then where you like the air to go and all of those controls. This also has a trailer braking system along with your four-wheel drive selector, and it even has a locking rear differential. Now on the right side, there's a few more auxiliaries. There's also some more down below along with the wireless charging pad, and you can close that when you don't want to view any of that. We have a nice trim accent for the top of that. 2 cup holders on this right side, along with a little bit of storage. You could place your phone. And then check this out. If I push this button while we are in park, that allows the shifter to move down. to where now we have a nice flat surface. You could eat, work on a laptop, do whatever you need to. When you're done, flip that back, and then you are ready to go. Now, once it locks up, you do have to pull it just a little bit so that way you get it back to normal there. But we have reverse for that camera, we have drive and the manual setting to use those paddle shifters. Now you can also still open this up normal where you have a lot of space, and then there's also the normal glove box, which is located underneath the other one there. Now up top, there's a sunglass holder, there's all the dome lights, there's a control for the rear window, and then we have all these auxiliaries where you can hook up exterior lights, you have compressors, anything that you need. Nice factory spot to place them. And then as far as visibility goes, being a pickup truck, it's very easy to see all around because the pillars are so thin, you really don't have any blind spots. As we set off now behind the wheel for this VelociRaptor, let's first start about the power increase that you get over a standard Raptor. Standard Raptor has 450 horsepower, 510 pound-feet of torque. Now we have 558 horsepower, 672 pound-feet of torque. So that is a pretty big horsepower increase to give you a lot more performance. And then of course we have those optional 6-piston Brembos up front to give you that additional stopping power. This is a heavy truck, but 0 to 60 now it goes from 5 seconds to 3.5 seconds for this truck. So if you're looking for the ultimate performance daily driving pickup truck, the VelociRaptor is a good option to go with. This is a kit that is done by Hennessey. If you're unfamiliar with that company, they take the Raptor as is, brand new, and do all these modifications to it. So then you can go ahead and buy this as is. So that gives you a little bit more peace of mind with a reputable company. Hennessey's been doing a lot of different packages on so many different models over the years that you can trust getting behind the wheel of this truck. So let's put everything into some of these sport mode settings now. We have the manual setting for these massive paddle shifters. I was just in a normal Raptor last week, so let's see the difference here. It's still a heavy truck, but that gets up and scoots. I'm not putting my pedal to the floor right now, but it feels quick. It has a good sound to it. I know a lot of people were upset when Ford went away from the V8 and they went to this twin turbo V6, but the power increase that you can get is almost worth it over the V8 exhaust note, which does sound good. But this is something that you can have a lot of fun with, still daily drive, because that definitely sounds good. That sounds very good. But this is a great daily driver. It's something that's going to put a smile on your face. It's a larger pickup, so if you have kids or you have other friends that you're bringing with you, you have a lot of space for the size of this truck. It's a very capable full-size truck too. And aside from that, the VelociRaptor package, everything is what you'd expect. Like I said, I was just in a Raptor last week, and it rides just like the normal Raptor, even with the leveling kit up front. It doesn't feel any different. Now, I'm not going for a long distance, but I would assume with this style truck, with this off-road Fox suspension, it not only gives you the travel for off-roading, but it gives you a little bit smoother of an on-road drive too. So let's face it, this truck is going to be seeing pavement a lot more, but it has the suspension and those capabilities to take this on some high-speed adventures off-road, which I think would just be so much fun to do. We don't have a lot of that near where I live, but you could still take this off-road and have those capabilities. And then when you're ready, get back up to speed just like that. And from second gear, here we go. It has such a good tone to it. It almost sounds like it's a Nissan or Infiniti. It kind of has that exhaust note to it, very similar to a GTR, I will say, just in some of the tones and the aspects to it. But I think it gives it a really cool look, and it sounds louder if I gave it some more throttle input. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel of the VelociRaptor. Really no different than the Raptor. So if you've seen my Raptor review, it's honestly the same, feels the same, a lot more power though, which is awesome to see. And just a fun daily driver in a world where we're getting even some more performance-oriented style pickups. We have this, there's the TRX as well, which has about the same power. You can get a lot of power out of both of those trucks if you're looking for something that is just going to have all of that performance. So for basically 6 figures, you're looking at both of these trucks as options. It's something that is going to be a lot of fun to drive and give you a smile every time you give it a little bit of juice. But that is going to wrap it up for the VelociRaptor 600. Once again, huge shout out to 704 Exotics for providing this very special Ford F-150 for me today. Check out their website, that link is down below. Give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.